Roberto Vanzini, Roberto Casalini, and I, Carlo Giusto, are pleased to present our note on first records of Ixapion variegatum Venker in central Italy and considerations about its life cycle and distribution, Coleoptera apionide. Before starting our presentation, we would like to specify that the concept of Brentide sensulato proposed by Vanat, where apionids are treated as a family, is here preferred to the broad and overgeneralized concept of Brentide Bielberg advocated by Oberpriller, where apionid weevils are considered as a family within Brentide. Ixapion variegatum Venker is the only representative of the genus Ixapion rudientemper, and is one of the 26 species currently attributed to the 5 genera of the tribe Ixapini Alonso Zarazaga. The 5 genera are Ixapion rudientemper with 1 species, Trichopterapion Wagner with 2 species, Neapion Alonso Zarazaga 18 species, Miltapion Foss 4 species, and finally Papuapion Korotiaev with 1 species. Their relationships are somewhat unclear, and the still limited knowledge of their biology does not provide sufficient information to clarify their real affinities. This is evident when analyzing their relationships with host plants that belong not only to different families but also to different orders, apparently not closely related. Ixapion, in fact, is associated with the hemiparasitic epiphytic plant Viscum album, family Santalaceae, order Santalales. Trichopterapion, instead, lives on Betulaceae belonging to the genera Carpinus and Ostria, order Phagales. About the genus Neapion, the taxa attributed to the nominal subgenus are associated with Viburnum species, Dipsacales, while those ascribed to the subgenus Neotropion live on Rutaceae, order Sapindales, in particular on Xanthoxylum and Amiris. Unfortunately, we have no information about the host plants of Miltapion and Papuapion. About their distribution, we can note that Ixapini populate most of the biogeographic regions. In the Palearctic, we have Ixapion, which shows a typically Central European distribution, and Trichopterapion, represented by 2 species that occupy the extreme areas of the region. Trichopterapion rostricium, which lives in the Central Asiatic European area, and Trichopterapion semisericium, which lives in the Asiatic Far East. Neapion species inhabit the Nearctic and the Neotropical regions, while those belonging to the genus Miltapion the Afrotropical one. Papuapion sculpturaptum is confined to a small area in the north of the Australian region, namely Western New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. Before concluding this introduction and leaving the floor to Roberto Casalini, who will illustrate our research, I show you the distribution of Ixapion variegatum. The red line indicates the main area, while the red dots correspond to the southernmost localities.
Last spring, during some collecting trips in central Italy, we found 2 areas where on trees, especially fruit trees, the hemiparasitic epiphytic plant Viscum album Santalaceae was particularly abundant. Both localities, the first Fontevedici in Abruzzo and the second Fuscello in Latium, are located in south faces mountainous areas and characterized by temperate climate. Like its host plant, Ixapion variegatum is a distinctly thermophilic species that prefers localities characterized by temperate climate, mainly south-facing exposed from sea level to mountainous areas, up to 1,300 meters, and seems to be lacking in areas of northern Europe with a continental climate. The range of Viscum album extends from the south of the Scandinavian peninsula to North Africa, northern Morocco and northern Algeria, and from the Iberian Peninsula to China, Yunnan, and northern Indochina through the Middle East. The three subspecies indefinitely used by Ixapion variegatum as host plants are mostly confined to Central Europe and differ not only in their morphology, but also in the plants they parasitize. Viscum album album attacks deciduous broadleaf trees mainly belonging to Betulaceae, Fabaceae, Fagaceae, Malvaceae, Rosaceae, Salicaceae e Sapindaceae. Viscum album austriacum and Viscum album abietis both live on Pinaceae, the first on Pinus and Picea and the second on Abietis. As believed by many authors in the past, Ixapion variegatum was considered a rare and autumnal species. To verify whether this was true, in addition to our material, we used only the original citations in which the place and date of collection were clearly mentioned, see aside below. The graphic relating to the numbers of captures, not the number of specimens, clearly shows that adults are present almost all year round, from February to November, with two peaks of presence in May and August. About its rarity, when the tufts of mistletoe are easily accessible, the population of Ixapion variegatum can be quite abundant, as shown by the numerous specimens we collected in May and by the reports of Guerpel, Clermont, Common, Scherler, Putz. Regarding the life cycle, it is necessary to point out that, apart from the confirmed presence of adults in practically all months of the year, the few data on the pre-imaginal stages at our disposal are the following. Only one egg observed in October. Some larvae found on mistletoe stems from March to August. Few pupae observed in two distinct periods of the year, in March and in July and August. In addition, we can consider the presence of larvae and pupae at certain months preceding the appearance of adults between February and April, as observed by Putz. We can also quite safely affirm that ovoposition occurs for the periods immediately following the first matings, say at least from May. Personal observation by Casalini Giusto on.
The discovery of Ixapion variegatum in central Italy is one of the recent numerous new findings in Central and Southern Europe. It appears to be rapidly expanding its distribution together with mistletoes, which, favored by climate warming, are colonizing new areas and moving to higher altitudes. Regarding its life cycle, it is almost certain that Ixapion variegatum, like the majority of the apionids of temperate regions, is univoltine, with simultaneous presence of several generations during the year. Furthermore, the species is present all year round on the host plant, sometimes even in great number, and is able to overwinter both at the adult and pre-imaginal stages. For this reason, we believe that it is inappropriate to describe Ixapion variegatum as rare and autumnal. It is certainly better to define it as an insect difficult to observe and collect. The above data on the biology and ethology of this species once again demonstrate how our knowledge in these fields is somewhat in its infancy. Bridging this gap will surely be one of our future challenges. We would like to express our gratitude to Enzo Colonnelli, Antti Momire, and Luca Bartolozzi, and thank you very much for your attention.